euphoria arising out of 1971 was, however, rather short-lived, with India, after defeating Tony Lewis's side at home in 1972-73, slumping to a 3-0 setback in as many tests in England in 1974, which included, embarrassingly enough, an innings of 42 all-out in the second venture of the Lord's Test. This trend somewhat continued when India were thrashed by an innings at Barbados in the first test of the 1976 series in the West Indies. In the second test, India enjoyed much the better of the encounter. The third test was, as they say in the Caribbean, something else, man.
359 runs for the West Indians was not a terribly big score, considering the kind of batters they had then. Vivian Richards, Clive Lloyd and Roy Fredericks. To my mind, Vivian was exceptionally lucky that he was let off time and again behind the stumps. And on one particular occasion when he was stumped by a mile almost, and I remember this umpire gave him not out. Vivian got 177 and Kali got 100. They both played brilliantly. But I wouldn't like to think that we bowled badly. You know, we had only 3 bowlers amongst us. Just the 3 spinners, myself, Chandra and Venkat. And Chandra got 6 in the first innings and 2 in the second innings. I picked up 4 in the first and 1 in the second, and then Venkat got 3 in the second innings, which was a reasonably good contribution.
When we play in Trinidad, we always be slightly reserved in the sense that if there's any test match we will lose, we normally lose it at Trinidad, and that is something that has been going on for a long while. So you always have this sort of reservation whenever you go to Trinidad, and we had this mythical thinking that it's obvious that when you go to Trinidad you must play quite a lot of spinners. But we didn't really realize until later on, that our spinners never won us a test match in Trinidad. Having made 359, we were quite happy. And then when we bowled India out for 228, well, it's obvious that you thought that you were laughing. We were on top throughout the game. And then we gave them 400 odd to make, which I would think in anybody's book is, you'd only back one person, that's the person, the team that's bowling. Unfortunately, our spinners again didn't do as well as they should have.
When the West Indians declared in the second innings, I don't think it was a matter of making a game out of it. They generally meant to win the game, because they thought, well, if the Indian spinners can turn on that track, why can't the home team bowlers? And well, they tried, but our batsmen showed a lot more determination and dedication, and a lot more sense of purpose, especially Gavaskar, Vishwanath and Mahendra Ramanath, followed by Brajesh Patel. It was a great win. I tell you, one of the dream wins one can ever imagine. To be honest, throughout the trip, our main strategy was, if our first 4 or 5 batters could last the second new ball, right, we would make something like 350 or so, which is a good enough score for our bowlers to bowl against.
If you bowl the opposition out for 228 in the first innings on a wearing pitch, you would think that probably your bowlers, 400 runs, you wanted to give your bowlers some time to bowl the opposition out. We had ample time, and it's obvious that we weren't good enough bowling-wise, I suppose, because when we came to Trinidad, we changed the bowling attack. We didn't have as many fast bowlers. We decided, well, we had 4 spinners. They batted extremely well. I'm sure that they didn't realize that they probably would have made that many runs anyway. But they did, and it was not a mammoth task, but if you applied yourself, you could have got very close or even won the game, and they won the game.
When Clive Lloyd declared that 271 for 6 in the second innings, it was not in charity, surely. He wanted to wrap up the series because they were already one up, and he thought, well, this is good enough opportunity. Now, if we were in that kind of position, I think we would have been a lot more happier, because Indian spin attack has always enjoyed bowling fourth. But in this test match, we were batting fourth against an attack which was not always sure of itself. It wasn't sure of itself because we were far more sure of ourselves. So that is the way I look at it.
Vivian Richards, a trifle lucky to get those runs there, but no doubt about Clive Lloyd, and Julian also playing pretty well. And once again, it's Chandra, supported by Bedi. India batting poorly in response. 41 from Vishwanath, 42 from Madan Lal, the only two respectable contributions. Holding magnificent with 6 for 65. A typically skillful knock of 103 from Alvin Kalicharan. The rest of the West Indian batting not so incisive. And the Indians sharing the spoils, Chandra 2, Venkat 3. And the great fourth innings, Gavaskar 100, Vishwanath 100, 85 from Amarnath and 49 from Brijesh Patel. And the West Indian bowling not making much headway. Following that great win, India went on to establish a record losing total of 445 in the fourth innings of a test match at Adelaide in 1978. Then, at the Oval in London in 1979, India were asked to score 438 in the last venture in no more than 500 minutes to win a test match. And India, to their great credit, actually got to 429 for 8 when stumps were drawn for the match. An effort made memorable by a knock of 221 by Sunil Gavaskar.
Splendid stroke to bring up the 100 for this fine batsman. Here's his 200, a super innings.
But the next truly tangible triumph was not until February 1981 at this magnificent Melbourne cricket ground. Here in the 1977-78 series, India had recorded their first ever victory in a test match in Australia. This time in 1981, India arrived at the MCG for the final test in a 3-test series, having already lost the first test at Sydney quite comprehensively. And to their added disappointment, they lost the toss here and were put into bat on a pretty unpredictable wicket.
We played on the ground, I think, a couple of times that season. The wicket that we were presented for that game against India in the test match was vastly different, in that it had a lot more moisture and it had some more grass. Not a lot of grass, but some more grass. From a wicket that was totally bare, it now had some grass in uneven patches, which was again going to affect the way that the ball behaved. If it hit the grassy patches, it would probably bounce normally. If it hit the bare patches, anything could happen. As it was wet, it might stick and stand up at you, or it might just stay down. So it just added another variable, and with that in mind, I elected to bowl first.
We had gone to Melbourne hoping to win the toss, because we'd seen how the wicket had behaved in the other matches earlier on. And therefore we were keen to win the toss and bat first. But we were very pleasantly surprised that Greg Chappell asked us to bat. So in fact, not winning the toss didn't really make much of a difference.
Greg Chappell to Vishwanath. That's fine stroke. He's very strong in that area. Very good cutter, Vishwanath. And only the second boundary of the morning. A classic stroke there, back cut. Lilly to Patil. What a shot. Straight down the ground. Beautiful shot by Sandy Patil. A bad delivery from Dennis Lilly. Sandy Patil had been playing splendid attacking strokes and playing them with intelligence and discretion. But Lilly and Marsh outthought him here with this tempting bouncer.
Goes the hook and he's out. Yes, well bowled, Dennis Lilly. Kept it up. He's got one in short.
Keeps to Kiamani. The clipper, but too short. Harshly dealt with by Kiamani. Takes 4 runs from it. Well, that's cut away, and Vishwanath's always been pretty strong in that area. And once again, getting that ball off the middle of the bat. It's a little bit uppish. And see if we can pick up this time the roll of the wrist over the top of the ball. There it goes, and once again there's a big appeal. He's given him out. Yes, it succeeded for him. A magnificent leg cutter. The ball pitching just around the bat off stump, perhaps just outside, leaving the bat, finding the edge of Kiamani's bat and going through to Rod Myers. What a fantastic bowl. And perfectly described Tony Gregg. We watched Dennis Lilly come in. He's working on that seam, and over go the fingers. And the ball pitching, just cutting away from Kiamani, finding the outside edge. And look at the jubilance in Dennis Lilly as he goes down the wicket. Vishwanath faces Jim Higgs. Field in very close, looking to cut off that single.
And he finds a gap, keeps cover, and that's 4 runs and well played, Vishy. A fine hand. Came in when the score was 2 for 22, showed a lot of courage and some glorious straight play. A generous round of applause, standing ovation to the outer, and a lot of courage in that century. He's been struggling all summer.
Vishwanath, the hero of the Indian innings, and the wicket the Australians needed so much at this stage. And that's out. That's the inside edge. Inside edge on the pad and on to slip. That's the way it seemed to be from here. Whether Vishwanath is entirely delighted about it, I don't know.
He doesn't appear to be, but he's rather unemotional. As we can judge the better. And this ball from Yardley turning and clipping the pad. It almost seemed that that ball passed between bat and pad.
The wicket was difficult, but it was a typical Vishwanath innings where he made it look as if he was batting on the best of wickets. He had all the time in the world to play the quicks, and he just simply fooled around with the spinners.
Great stroke. Splendid way to bring up the half century for Greg Chappell. Shivlal Yadav to Alan Border.
Following spinners from round the wicket to Chappell.
Straight back there, Rosario is gone. Caught and bowled by Garvey. Well, my goodness. Chappell losing concentration for just a half second there, smashing it back down the ground. And Garvey never at any stage looked as if he was going to drop that. Shivlal Yadav to Alan Border. Very nicely timed stroke away down to the fine leg fence, and Alan Border goes into the 70s. Shivlal Yadav concentrating on his leg stump. The drive, and he's got it through the gap, and I think they'll get 3 here. This will be his 100. It's a fine shot. It's rolling away out towards the boundary, and it's going to be 4. So Alan Border's century. And what a good century it's been when you consider that he's had a tough season. The crowd there on their feet applauding what has been a very, very good knock by him. Fighting every yard of the way. 101 to Alan Border. A welcome return to the Century Club for Alan Border in tests. Sandeep Patil to Doug Walters. That's well played. Right at the back foot there and placing that ball very, very well. Hitting it down the ground, just past the stumps at the bowler's end, and 4 runs to him. Very well timed, too.
Shiblal Yadav now to Alan Border. This is rather an anticlimax to a very good innings, but it certainly is a brilliant piece of umpiring. Well, they're appealing for Bowl there. Well, Shiblal's appealing. Didn't see much from Kiamani. Have a little look at it now.
Well, that's definitely bounced off the keeper's pads.
And Border is given out. Given out bowled. And the umpire at the bowler's end was quite right. He couldn't possibly have seen it, and he needed to refer it to the umpire at square leg. No great excitement there, but we'll have another look at the side-on shot in a moment. And I think you'll see that the ball strikes the leg stump very faintly, but it does strike it. No question that that is out bowled, and the umpire at the bowler's end did the right thing. He spoke to the umpire at square leg, and no question of that. The ball bounced back, in fact. Doshi to Waters.
Oh, he's gone. A little left hand has got through him. Walters coming down to drive. Fine piece of work by Kiamani. And finally, Dilip Doshi strikes, and at a vital time for India, a good wicket.
Well, great concentration by Kiamani. Waiting all this time for that stumping. The ball looked as though it may have been going to hit the stumps, and Kiamani's gloves were there. Walters coming down, looking for the single. He really didn't go after it in the normal Walters fashion. A good piece of work by Kiamani, just removing the bails.
We lost early wickets, I think, from memory, and then Alan Border and myself, and then Alan and Doug Walters with the bulk of the runs. And Alan's innings of 120-odd was an excellent innings because of the commitment to making sure that we had a big lead.
Dennis Lilly to Gavaskar. And Gavaskar will take full toll of anything that's loose.
That's the sort of form that you expect from this great batsman.
Higgs to Chauhan. And there's that stroke again. One thing he may have to do is pull Alan Border across a bit straighter there in that short cover position. Yardley to Gavaskar.
Ooh, and he's pulled it out, and this time he's got hold of it. A magnificent hit down through long on. A rush of blood, possibly, that he moves on to 49. Realising that India need runs if they're going to win this match, as well as occupying the crease.
That one played off the face of the bat, run away down to third man, and that'll be 4. And that's Chetan Chauhan's 50.
This season may well be remembered as the summer of controversy, and it seems from this episode that the summer hasn't yet finished.
The kick right, that's close. That time he's got him, playing back. The Indian captain, not happy, saying that he may have hit that. What's going on? He's saying, please, please, what a tour. Gavaskar suggesting that he got a thick edge onto that delivery. The man who's walked so often this series, very annoyed with that decision. Pleading with Dennis Lilly, asking that he hit that ball. Let's have a look at it on replay.
Well, it's a very upset Gavaskar. That ball keeping low. He was very determined about the fact, or very definite about the fact that he had hit it. And it's an annoyed man, and he's still not prepared to leave the ground.
And wow, what a sensation, Ian. Cutting in there, he's taking his opening bat off with him. Does that mean he's declared? Or conceded the match? Surely not. Have a rethink, Sunil. When he gets in the calm of the dressing room, I'm quite sure that his teammates will come back, but he's a very, very annoyed captain. That LBW decision, the Australian players in a circle, the Indian captain taking his partner off the field.
Well, let's also remember that now takes Dennis Lilly to 248 wickets. And I think we've got the wing commander, the manager, wing commander, and he is telling Chauhan to stay there and sending Ben Sarkar out. So that's a good move there on behalf of the manager of the Indian side, and it's a very upset Gavaskar who leaves the ground.
We're going to have a whistle audio full up in this defensive trot. I couldn't really tell, to be quite honest, but certainly I'd take Gavaskar's word that he thought he hit that ball.
I agreed with the umpiring decision. It was the first time in the series that Sunil had made runs. He'd had a fairly disappointing series for himself, and I think a very frustrating series. I think he believed that he'd had a number of decisions that were indifferent, and he believed on this occasion that the decision was wrong. The way he indicated with the bat was that he felt that he'd hit the ball before it made contact with his pads. I was in a difficult position at first slip to tell whether he'd made contact, but instinct tells you when some things are more likely to happen than not. I felt that it was unlikely that he'd made contact with the bat first, but it wasn't my position to give the decision. The umpire had given the decision. Sunil was very disappointed, I think frustrated, because of low scores throughout the series. The first time he looked like playing well and doing something for his team, he was nipped in the bud, in his opinion. And I think the frustration of it all just built up, and he snapped.
I wasn't out then, and I don't think it makes a difference now, because it was a thick inside edge onto the pads. But I now know, looking back now, that I shouldn't have done what I did, because I just got excited. Again, let me say, I got excited about the fact that it was a bad decision. I was walking off by myself, angry, but only after I'd gone about 15-20 yards towards the pavilion, and when one of the Australian fielders said something very typically Australian, let me say, that I got back to Chetan Chauhan, who was a non-striker, and asked him to. I think up until that particular moment when I was called some names, I think I would have just gone into the pavilion, broken a bat or something, but that's the worst I could have done. Not what I actually tried to do after I heard that and lost my head.
And that's out. That's what India didn't need, a short pitch. Chetan Chauhan, and the record for Dennis Lilly.
Lilly to Doshi. Oh, and that ran well on the ground, the same as Yashpal Sharma's. 143 to win Australia now.
Philip Doshi can't believe it, and he leaves the ground. India are 9 for 324.
Off the thigh pad, he gives it out. Dear, oh dear. Well, it's been tough on umpires this summer, but if John Dyson hit that, I'll go he.
Greg Chappell has had some tense moments at the start of some of his recent innings, and here today, facing his first ball from Garbary, there's not the slightest need to consult the umpire.
Oh, there's a big shot. He's bowling round his legs. What a sensation at the moment. Cricket ground. Chappell put it too far across. Bowled without scoring, and what a match now.
Oh, there's Bowling. What a great delivery by Dilip Doshi. That was fantastic bowling. My goodness, a quicker ball there, keeping low. Hughes making the mistake of trying to cut off the back foot, and he was bowled hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, well. Rishadi gets 2 on the top. That one keeping even lower than the first. Border faces Kapil Dev.
Chance, yes, he's got him. A fine deflection. Border standing, but there was a deflection there, and well caught by Kimani. The Indians pointing to the dressing room. Yashpal Sharma said, off you go. And at 6 for 55. Bowling round his legs. Yes, the ball keeping low. Marsh too far across. Not the best shot I've ever seen from Rodney Marsh, but persistence for Kapil Dev. Australia 7 for 61.
Dilip Doshi to Walters.
Walters gets that one, gets hold of it. Bowling, trying to drive down the ground, and Kapildev gets 4. A fine performance. Clean bowls, Dennis Louis. It's close. He's out, and victory for India. Look at those Indians. Well bowled, Kapildev.
So 143 was definitely gettable, but it would have been easier in some ways if we'd had 200 odd to get, I think, because 143 is that sort of in-between area where we knew in the back of our minds that we should get them, but if we lost early wickets, it was going to put the pressure on, and I think that was a culmination of events, the frustration of the conditions, the fact that we lost early wickets, and the fact that we knew, A, that we should get the runs, and B, that getting the runs was going to be difficult if we lost early wickets. You had that doubt in the back of your mind, and I think a little bit of panic probably set in around the middle order. Had we been able to steady, even having lost 3 early wickets, if we'd been able to steady then, I think we probably would have got them. But the Indian side sensed that they had a chance. Kapil Dev particularly bowled very well. He bowled at good pace in line with the stumps, and I think from memory the majority of the wickets fell bowled or LBW, which is indicative of the fact that the wicket played at two heights, low and very low.
I think the Australians panicked after they lost Greg Chappell, and when the next morning they lost 2 quick wickets, Kim Hughes and Bruce Yardley, the night watchman. I think they were really in a state. We were still not sure because Alan Border was there, Rodney Marsh, and we didn't have a big score to defend. But they all went quite cheaply, and we won.
A great performance that, and a significant advance for Indian cricket. In the first test of that series at Sydney, Sandeep Patil was hit a sickening blow on the head by a Lenny Pascoe bouncer.
Very short indeed, and Patil, I would think, hit just above the left eye, or possibly on the left temple.
But Patil defiantly hit back in the very next test at Adelaide with a superlative 100.
He's hit that through extra cover, not wasting any time at all, that ball going away down towards the boundary, and Sandeep Patil turning for the 3rd, so he makes his century. 101 now, and what a fine innings it's been.
Again, he's so quickly in the position, he didn't have all the time in the world. Four fours in this over. That could be his 100, indeed it is. Smack on the bottom from Bob Willis, and 100 out of a total of 300. Yes, a magnificent hook. So what's just the 3rd over with it? 6 times he's found the boundary.
But the real master against pace at this point was Mahendra Amarnath, son of Lala. He had a tremendous tour of Pakistan in 1982-83. Then in the West Indies in 1983, he tackled the fearsome fast bowlers there like a man possessed.
And 4 runs. He was into it really quickly, and the crowd is taking evasive action down there. It was well hit, really, and Jeff, as you did mention earlier on, he got into position rather quickly.
Yes, he did. He does play that. 3 for 31, 17 to Amarnath. Hook down to square leg, 4 runs.
However, in one area, the Indians were still rather lagging behind, and that was in the cult of one-day cricket. In the 2 Prudential World Cup competitions in 1975 and 1979, India had mustered just a solitary success, that over East Africa in the inaugural tournament. In fact, in 1979, India experienced the ignominy of defeat at the hands of Sri Lanka, then still to be elevated to official test status. Thus, when India, in spite of the subsequent improvement, entered the fray in the 1983 World Cup, not many rated their chances as being particularly bright. In fact, the turnaround for India occurred at Tunbridge Wells, where Kapil Dev, the Indian captain, played a match-winning innings of 175 not out against Zimbabwe after India were in dire straits at 17 for 5.
Very rare I played inning what I played that day, and that was only because we were in such a bad position.
That's a lovely shot. First boundary of the day. Beautifully timed shot there by Graham Fowler. Half volley on the leg stump. He put it away to perfection. That's good run, sir. Beautiful shot by Tavri. Allowed it to come on. Clipped it away very firmly through mid-wicket. And they've run exceptionally well.
Well bowled, and he's out, finished. That was a good one. First success then for India. Roger Binny. Tavare gone for 32.
And he's bowled him all over the place. Binny takes another wicket. And Fowler clean bowl for 33, leaving England now 84 for 2 in the 21st over.
Getting, and Lama, no, that's out! Lama's run out.
That's gone. Well, that turn just actually kept very low, and both of us gone. He's bowled for 6 by Azad, and England in real trouble here at 160 for 6. Ball, I think, hit the stump about a foot high, and poor old Ian Botham was left high and dry. Perfectly timed, the last ball of the day. Bob Willis's leg stump goes over.
Looks all right. And as soon as one says that, Gavaskar puts his out to Alec. Alec in his second over. Took some stick in his first.
Through the gap this time, all right. Flipped away very coolly, very calmly through mid-wicket, and that goes for 4. And he's gone for a big one, and he's fairly middle that. My word, he's given up everything he knew. It's 6. Umpire Oslier giving the signal. And a real cross-butted swipe, in fact, there. That's a good shot too. Just as well they've moved that square leg back onto the boundary. They're scurrying away for the second run, and he's gone, he's run out. That was a marvellous throw coming in from Paul Allard out there. And Armanath thinking, I think he was home and dry. Suddenly realised he was in real trouble, put his head down, but couldn't beat that throw. So relief finally for England with a score at 142, with Armanath going run out for 46.
It's in the air, it's down to third man, and it's a marvellous catch. My word, the local hero. That was a tremendous catch by Paul Allen. But much good eye fear may it do England now.
The ball skied high, and look at Allett sprinting around that boundary. What a swift man he is for a fast bowler. Down he goes, gathers the ball inches from the ground. He's had a wonderful day in the field, being instrumental in the Amarnath run out when that return came in from the outfield, and now this marvellously agile catch dismissed the other major run scorer for India, Yashpal Sharma, for 61.
Patel facing Bob Willis. 3 runs wanted for India to reach the final.
And another upset there by India, who reached the final against the West Indies at Lord's by defeating England by 6 wickets.
1-8. Good job to get back there. Marvellous run. He was charging through, calling Desmond Haynes. It would have landed 10 to 15 yards inside the tree, and Kapildev had a long way to go to make. Gone. 6 runs.
Face to face. Only pulled it on. Out the way.
Well, funny things happen at this game. Starts to play, decides it's too wide.
This time, nerve in the end, tried to swing the leg. It's another wicket for Amarnath. No delight. William with the Prudential Cup there.
I think 183 wasn't a good target for any team, but looking, we had a good luck in our side, and we start picking up the wickets from very second over. And I think taking Clive Lloyd's wicket, I think that was the turning point, I think, because he was the last main batsman who we can really get worried about at that stage.
1983, Kapil Dev registered the best figures of his career by taking 9 wickets in an innings against the West Indies at Ahmedabad. Then in early 1985, Mohammad Azharuddin exploded onto the international scene with 300s in his first 3 tests. Within a year of winning the Prudential World Cup, India lifted the first Rothmans Asia Cup at Sharjah. But a much bigger test of their supremacy awaited them when, after a notably poor display against England at home, India were invited to defend their newly acquired reputation in one-day cricket in the Benson and Hedges World Championship of Cricket in Australia. And India proved that their World Cup win was no fluke by beating Pakistan, England and Australia in the league stage of the tournament quite easily to earn the right to meet New Zealand in the last 4 stage.
And there's a fieldsman there, Kapil Dev, straight down his throat. So Reid, after having done all the hard work, has holed out, and Kapil Dev, a very, very good outfielder. He's already been involved in 1 run out and took that catch very safely.
With this dismissal, perhaps the consequence of John Reid trying to put the New Zealand innings up a gear, down the wicket, hitting the ball in the air. He doesn't do that very often, but on this occasion he chose the wrong fieldsman to hit it in the air too. Kapil Dev takes the catch comfortably. John Reid out for 55. Caught Kapil Dev bowled Shastri, and in the 35th over, with drinks coming onto the field, New Zealand 5 for 119.
I don't think that'll go down as one of the better shots of the day or of Jeremy Coney's career. The very last thing in the world they wanted just to lose another wicket there. Coney 33, bowled by Shastri, the one that came on with the arm.
And he's hit that one down towards square leg very strongly, just over the boundary rope, I think, for 6. I think it was fractionally over the rope, or was it? Umpire signalling 4. We may have to have another look at that. I think it was the fieldsman down there who perhaps indicated that it bounced just inside the rope.
Well, the crowd here at the SCG letting out a loud boo when the umpire signalled but we can't really tell too much from that, I'm afraid.
Oh, Shrikant's under it again. He's got him this time. Well, Sonny Gavaska's moved him away out of the danger area, and what happened? Cairns hit it straight to him this time. He made no mistake. We'll have a look at Gavaska. And the Indians are really very happy.
Well, Lance Cairns was trying to hit it over the top of all those fields, but he's tried to do it on 2 previous occasions in this over. He's never really middled any of these shots, and Shrikant down there at backward square leg heaves a monstrous sigh of relief as he takes the catch, and Lance Cairns out for 39 off 29 balls. What a most effective innings.
Martin Snedden taking strike to Mud and Lull.
Well, he's hit it. It's going down the ground. Will this be out? Azruddin's there. He's caught it. New Zealand all out of the last ball of their innings. 206 posted by them, and that's not a bad recovery after a dreadful start.
Once again, the responsibility of securing a breakthrough for New Zealand rests on the shoulders of this great all-rounder. And taken at point, he's broken through immediately. So in the 32nd over, Hadley has stung like a bee. And the score is 3 for 102 in the 32nd over.
Shots. Now that's adding a little bit of insult to a lot of injury.
Kapil Dev strikes the winning blow. It'll just be a single. Ball will stop short of the boundary. And so India claim victory in the 44th over.
Now the final. The 2 teams, India and Pakistan, thoroughly deserved to be there. They certainly weren't favourites with the bookmakers when the competition began. They played tremendously well all the way through, and this is going to be a very, very good clash indeed. Oh, knocked him over. First Cherry, a great Yorker. Qasim Omar, who played so well in the defeat of the West Indies the other evening, has gone without scoring, and India are right on top.
Sheer pace, swinging Yorker, new batsman, beautiful line, pitched about middle leg, swung in a bit, hitting across the line, took off stump. Beautiful piece of bowling by Kapil Dev. He's on a hat-trick, Pakistan reeling as Omar departs without scoring. And what a buzz around the Melbourne cricket ground. 3 for 29.
That's a beautiful stroke. Away over cover. Imran Khan starting to cut loose.
Being brought into the attack. He's the 6th bowler used by the Indians.
One. Trouble. Stumps out. Imran Khan gone. Tragedy there as far as the Pakistanis are concerned. Imran Khan and Shahid Miand had a misunderstanding. Imran looking for the single, and a lovely pick-up and throw.
Yes, there was no run here. Imran called for it. I don't think there was a run, and he had to go back very quickly. Direct hit there, and had they run, I reckon Javed would have been out by 3 or 4 yards. So Imran perhaps calling incorrectly, and that's a big blow for the Pakistanis. He's out for 35, and a lovely bit of fielding there by the Indian captain. Pakistan 5 for 101.
Comes into Javed as they crossed. He's gone, is he? It's a good effort. No, he's got him. What a good piece of bowling. An excellent leg break. Got him forward and spun a mile. Viswanath had the bails off. A brilliant piece of cricket.
And it looks as though India are going to bowl yet another side out with Sivaramakrishnan now on the hat-trick.
So Miandad out for 48, 7 for 131.
Ball hit. And one bounce over the fence. That's a good shot from Wasim Narsad. Pakistan made 183 against India in the preliminary round match. So for the first time, India haven't bowled out the opposition. They've gone very close. 9 for 176.
Well, that's down the ground. This could be out, or is it 6? It's going over the top. It's 6. Another 6.
And the pressure now on the Pakistani bowlers. Wasn't Raja, and he's hit that in the air. The man's getting under this one. He's got a chance. He's dropped it. It's gone over the fence for 6. I believe that bounced out of his hands and went for 6. He's called 4. Let's have a look at that replay. A well-hit ball.
Shrikant right to the pitch of the ball. For a moment it looked as though it was going to be caught, the deflection, and into the fence. For a moment, Bill, it looked as though it went over the top.
Cuts it gone. Caught at point. Well caught by Wasim Raja. It was short. Imran dropped it in. He slashed square, and Raja took a great catch.
And that went like a rocket to Wasim Raja at backward point. Shrikant let off a couple of overs ago, but this was not to be another one. Good sharp chance taken by Wasim Raja. So Imran Khan picking up the wicket they needed, but is it too late? Shrikant out for 67 and India won for 103 in this 29th over. And he hit that one over the top, down towards the boundary, a deep mid-wicket.
There it is, victory for India. Well played, a fantastic performance. Victory by 8 wickets.
The difference was that not many of the players in the one-day squad had played the test matches. So the trauma of having lost was not theirs. And they could go in into the World Championships with a completely free mind and with a very positive attitude. Then I think Shivram Krishnan was our trump card. He bowled marvelously well. And everybody else sort of chipped in. I mean, we always got a good start with Srikanth and Shastri, and Kapil played a great innings at Sydney, the semi-finals. Venkateswar played a couple of very useful innings. All told, it was a very good effort, and we fielded very well. We had a real good fielding side, and we just didn't give away anything.
But sadly, India, around this juncture, were making rather heavy weather of their test commitments. The batting, on paper, was probably the best in the world, but the ineptitude in bowling made it difficult for the Indians to dismiss an opposition twice in a match. Besides, when India under Kapil Dev landed in England in 1986, it was the first half of the summer, always the bane of Indian cricket.
Life is suddenly better. The opening batsman, who's on 99. There it is. A splendid innings. Well-deserved reward for Graham Gooch. One of his better innings in Test match cricket. It's his 6th Test 100. Now, though, he has to face Chetan Sharma, the man who destroyed the middle of the England order.
The ball, he's gone. So it's Chetan Sharma again. His 4th wicket. But there'll be lots of applause for Graham Gooch, who has held the England innings together.
No doubt about that. Roger Binney mightn't have been having such a good match so far. He's made up for it there by knocking over England's 2nd top scorer, Derek Pringle, for 63. That's a fine performance from the Indian bowlers and fielders to bowl out England for just 294.
The Englishmen, I suppose, will be happy to have got that far after the middle order collapse. The fine partnership between Gooch and Pringle getting them on the way, and today Ellison getting into double figures, but Dilley failing to do so, and Edmonds 7 not out. The bowlers for India were dominated by Chetan Sharma, 5 for 64 from 32 overs and 10 maidens, 3 wickets to Roger Binney. Thought Kapil Dev could have kept himself on, but unselfishly gave Binney the chance to pick up wickets towards the end. Kapil Dev had 1, Binney 3, and Maninder Singh, the left-arm spinner, bowled in splendid style with very cold fingers, 30 overs, 15 maidens, and 1 for 45.
Very good look.
Cracking shot. And getting a wicket. Well done, well bowled, and the two spinners working together has come off for David Gower. Been good tactics and very well bowled by both of them. Not just Phil Edmonds who took the wicket, but John Embury at the other end as well. Great shot. An explosive pull shot from Dilip Vengsarkar. There it is. Tip and run. Vengsarkar has made another 100. And those runs came out of a total of 342. Each of the two last wicket partnerships added 39, a tremendous bonus for India. Karan Moray making 25 and Maninder Singh 6, and he batted for over 1 hour. The England bowling, they stuck to it well. The fielding was quite good. Dilley took some stick, but he also bowled with great penetration at times. 34 overs, 7 maidens, 4 for 146, 3 to Pringle, and 1 each to the other 3 bowlers used. Embury bowled particularly well, I thought.
Oh, that must be out. And that's fine bowling by Kapil Dev, who tried plenty of variations during that over. Experimented with the short ball, and the catch arriving safely in the hands of Mohinder Amarnath in the gully. So Tim Robinson goes. Confident appeal, and Gooch is gone.
That's beautifully bowled. I think Gower knew instantly he was gone. That seemed to me to come up the hill. A beautiful piece of bowling. Quite an outstanding performance from Kapil Dev this morning in his 8th over. He's just taken his 3rd wicket. Beautiful stroke for 4. That's a nice reply from Mike Gatting. He's done well this match, Chetan Sharma. 5 in the first innings, and now he's taken the England top scorer. And that's not nearly as many as David Gower would have preferred. I reckon he would have wanted something around about the 250 mark to set India a proper target tomorrow. 19 to Richard Ellison, and then the struggle at the end for Embury, Dilley and Edmonds, taking up time as well as trying to score runs, and only 172 runs scored in the day. Kapil Dev, the Indian skipper, will be delighted by his own bowling figures there, 4 for 52, and also by the match position, which shows India in a very, very strong state.
Tertiary end. Bowled in. Beautiful bowling. The ball coming on with the arm. And Vengsarkar completely deceived. And there'll be a scampering around in the Indian dressing room. Because from here on in, this match will be won or lost as much in the mind as anywhere else. So the hero of the first innings, Dilip Vengsarkar, makes a complete misjudgment. And Phil Edmonds brings the ball on with the arm through the gate, and over they go.
What a way to finish. A magnificent six from Kapil Dev. It's his first Test match victory as captain. The first time India have beaten England at Lord's. Well, there's a better shot. There's a lovely free swing of the bat. Doesn't matter that this ground is slightly on the small side. You could have had a full-size ground. That would have been way over the top.
Bensaka using the first shot as a sighter, this time getting right to the pitch of it.
On Gatting has gone. Roger Binney has struck 38 for 4 now. Gatting out for 13, Lamb not out 10.
The England captain absolutely livid with himself for playing that shot. Very wide.
I mean, the same bowler like Roger Binney can be more affected here than back home in India.
Oh, another fine shot by Bensaka.
Splendid century for Dilip Bensaka. I'd mark that down as a better 100 than the one he made at Lord's. Much more difficult conditions here on a pitch of variable bounce. So to win the game at this moment, England would need 407. If they achieved that victory, it would be the highest fourth innings score to win in the history of the game. Maninder Singh has got it up in the air. Gatting's the man under it and takes it safely. The innings is over. 237, India all out. So England need 408 to win in this second Cornhill Test match. If they do it, it'll be the greatest achievement in the history of Test cricket.
On with the arm, and that's out. On with the arm, beat Pringle, caught on the back foot. Completely beaten in the air. And I think Maninder Singh will have deserved that. He's beaten the bat 3 or 4 times this morning. And so Pringle goes. Take another look at Derek Pringle. Again, the close fielder there, just stopping the batsman from coming forward. It's amazing how it just gets into the mind that you can't push out.
And he's run out. Graham Dilley called for the single. There was hesitation. Dilley looks astonished. But there's no question the ball broke the stumps just before Dilley got his bat over the crease. So there's the stump being broken now, and Dilley is about 9 inches short. A very sad day for England, all out for 128. Mike Gatting played some lovely strokes out there this morning, but I'm afraid it was a lost cause. 31 not out, and the whole of the bottom part of the order, the last 6 players, none of them able to reach double figures. 128 all out, and the bowling figures are naturally quite impressive. Kapil Dev, again, bowled without a great deal of luck. 2 for 24 in 19 overs. Madan Lal, no wickets. Maninder Singh, 4 for 26 from 16.3 overs and 6 maidens. Binney, 2 for 18, didn't bowl today. And Ravi Shastri came on at the end, 1 for 21 in 10 overs and 3 maidens. And India beat England by 279 runs.
The boys and the team much more free when they come outside India, and they play. I think everybody again contributed very well. Mainly I would pick a couple of players like Dilip Vengsarkar was one who played extremely well throughout the series. And then I have to say about Maninder Singh. He done extremely well. Top of Chetan done extremely well. We never ever expected a result from Chetan will give such a marvelous performance. And I think it was a more experienced and youth team, so we get together and it was everything coming in our way.
India then winning that series 2-0 and in the most emphatic manner yet overseas. Now, as you must have observed,
Madras has really been one of Indian cricket's happy hunting grounds. At Madras, India have won several important test matches.
it was here that India notched up their maiden test victory in 1952 and at Jaipur. Then, 10 years later, at the nearby Nehru Stadium, India won a second test match in a series against England to complete the first ever series victory over England. But as if all this was not enough, something even more glorious, more unforgettable, was still to unfold itself.
The Indian pace bowlers find little help in the wicket. Chetan Sharma digs one short and Boone pulls him from outside the off stump through mid-wicket for 4. Jones is not entirely passive either. An orthodox off-drive of Kapil, a misfield by substitute fielder Sivaramakrishnan, and the century is Boone's. It is his third Test 100 and all three have been against India. The heat has taken its toll. And the second new ball brings India the breakthrough. Chetan Sharma produces the extra pace to get the edge and Boone is caught by Kapil for 122. Shastri to Jones. An elegant on drive and that's Jones's maiden 100. Border now gets into the act. A 6 off Shastri. And the Indian spinners look absolutely helpless. Srikanth is called for a bowl. And Jones plays a dapper off glide to get to his 200. His second 100 has come in just 89 balls. Finally, Yadav succeeds. A tired heave ends Jones's 500-minute stay and he wins a gesture of appreciation from the Indian captain. Jones is a drained man and is immediately taken to hospital for a replacement of fluids. Border asserts himself with his favorite pull sweep. And gets to his century with a push past mid-wicket. But the stroke that has brought Border so many runs proves to be his undoing. Gavaskar picks up the catch at backward square leg. And that's the end of Border. Surely must be one of the best left-handers in modern times. In this mood, Kapil is virtually unstoppable. Kapil hooks, and that's his 100. His 4th. And what a great effort. And a single off Bright means that India has averted the follow-on. And Kapil's brave innings ends on a rather tame note. India all out 397. Maninder to Boone. There's an appeal, and he's gone. Boone doesn't look too happy. 94 for 3.
And Border declared the Australian second innings on 170 for 5 at the end of the 4th day to leave India 348 runs to get to win on the final day.
Mohinder joins Gavaskar. And the two senior players pick up the gauntlet yet again. All elegance in that on-drive, so typically Gavaskar, 4 runs all the way. Gavaskar wins points from the off-spinner. A 6, over mid-wicket. But Mohinder does not survive for long. Matthews, drift and turn, beats him, and he's easily taken by Boone at short leg. And now McDermott charges in. And is banished imperiously through extra cover. 4 runs again. Gavaskar on 90. Will he get his 100? No, he miscues, and Jones accepts the catch at cover. Matthews can't hide his delight. But at 204 for 3, the chase is very much on. Ravi Shastri decides he's going to go for it. The asking rate at this point is 7 and over. And Shastri reiterates his intentions. That's 6. Over mid-wicket off Matthews, bringing the crowd to its feet. Pandit too lends a hand, and suddenly the target seems attainable. Matthews. And Shastri goes over the top again. Squarer this time, but 6 all the same. The heat is truly on. The crowd scents an Indian victory. With virtually no one on the offside, Pandit tries to innovate, but can only guide the ball from Matthews from outside the leg stump onto his wickets. A costly experiment. 291 for 6, 57 wanted, 10 overs to go. Matthews to Sharma. And the shot just eludes Matthews. And McDermott, 4 runs. Borders a worried man. An upset Chetan Sharma loses his concentration and his wicket as McDermott takes the skier off Bright quite safely. 331 for 7. And more trouble is to follow, or more trouble, as umpire Dultiwala's finger points heavenwards. More LBW Bright 0. 334 for 8. Shivlal Yadav has pre-decided on what he wants to do now. Matthews bows to him. And he hoists him beyond Jones's reach at long on. 6 crucial runs. Even Shastri cannot believe this. Bright, who has plugged away all day, gets his reward. Shivlal sweeps, misses, and is bowled off his pads.
All credit to the Australians. They haven't let go. They've attacked. They've kept the ball in play. They've kept the ball at the wickets and really challenged India all the way.
Five balls remain, 4 runs to get Matthews to Shastri. Score's tied. We are looking at an incredible possibility. From the Indian point of view, all they want is for Mohinder to push a single run. What a test match. Scores tied. 3 balls remain. Craftiest of Australian bowlers, Matthews, entrusted with the bowling.
2 balls to go. Two balls to go in this match. 1 run to win. 1 wicket to fall. Remember, India can't lose this match. They can either be a tie or India win.
I must admit, towards the end of the 4th day, runs were being hard to come by. I mean, we're in a position where, you know, we should have been throwing the bat a little bit more and throwing caution to the wind, and obviously the more runs we had in on the board at that stage meant that India, you know, had no chance of winning, and we were the only side that had a chance. But what I was forced to do was make a decision overnight. We were about 350 odd runs in front, and the decision was that whether we should declare overnight or bat on a little bit in the morning and make sure that we couldn't lose, but also, you know, because we didn't have as much time as we wanted to bowl India out, it was a very tough decision. But both Bob Simpson and I sat down and we worked out that no side had scored 350 runs in a day. Not too many sides had scored 350 runs in the 4th innings of a Test match to win. So all the statistics were in our favour, but what happened on the 5th day is sort of history now. It's just, you know, tension-packed cricket, you know, right throughout, and you know, that magnificent final result.
I still feel we should have won that match. I mean, the tie is there. People do talk about history. History is when you win the Test match as well.
I think, if I have to be honest about it, it was a game that, in the end, India should have won, and that we came back from the losing position to a point where we possibly could have won, but, you know, to be honest, I think I was very, very happy with the final result, a tie. It was probably a true indication of how both teams had played it. It would have been very, very sad if either side had lost under those circumstances after that much, you know, tension-packed cricket. For Greg Matthews to bowl 30 odd overs on that last day under those conditions, with that sort of pressure, was just a magnificent performance, and you know, he took 10 wickets in the match, and I thought that was just an absolutely superb performance on that wicket in those circumstances.